wait a minute. Did you hear that? Or specifically, not hear that? Let's take another listen. I think there's something wrong. Yep. Welcome to BremTech, the only source for mediocre how-to videos on the internet. My third tom seems to be a little quieter than the rest. And a little less sensitive. It will sometimes trigger, and sometimes it won't. Let's open her up and see if we can't see what's going on inside. There's also a sensitivity knob on the side, and that was turned up all the way. I'll have you know that I already did swap the pad with another cord and input. The problem followed the drum pad. Taking this apart is pretty straightforward. Just remove the lugs and you can remove the rim and the shell. The inside looks a little funky. There's two, I guess what I'll call vibration plates and two separate piezos. There's a few foam pillars that touch the mesh head. And here is the control board. Now keep in mind, I don't know what I'm doing at all, and I am just looking around for anything that's clearly obviously wrong. Here I'm checking the resistance at the piezo leads, and I'll be honest, I don't know what the resistance should be, or even that I'm checking resistance of just the piezos, as there's a lot of circuitry and such on the boards. I'm just assuming that both piezos should be reading somewhat similar, and they are. There's no opens or direct shorts. I also checked the continuity from the piezo to the board, and everything seems to be checking out there. I also had the bright idea to reflow all the connections. Now that's because the output was low and intermittent, and I thought maybe a bad solder joint could have caused that, but it didn't help. And I then had another bright idea. The piezo, before it went to the output jack, it went through a resistor, and I thought maybe that resistor was too high. So I found a resistor of the same value and soldered it in parallel, effectively halving the resistance of that resistor, and that too made no difference when I took the drum over to the drum module. So that resistor that I added in, it came right back out. And while testing, running back and forth between the workbench and my drum set, I noticed two things. The first being the piezo on the outer plate was the problem piezo. The center piezo, it seemed very sensitive, and the outer one comparatively not very sensitive at all. And the second thing I noticed, this is almost by accident, that when I pinched the outer piezo and hit the plate with my drumstick, it was much more sensitive. And I could let go of the piezo and hit the plate and it would be quiet. If I pinched the piezo and hit the plate, it would be loud. So I had another great idea to continuously pinch the piezo, and I decided to do that with a spring clip, and you can see it here. I want to say that this did not 100% fix the problem. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably 80 or 85% of fully functional. It's much louder and much more consistent, but sometimes there are missed hits, and I won't say there isn't. So I don't have a replacement piezo at the moment, so this is a good enough solution for me for the time being, until I can order a new piezo. And I'm convinced that it is that piezo due to just messing around with the drum and pinching that piezo and watching or listening to the change of sensitivity. So after putting the drum back together, let's take a listen. Well, I suppose that's it for now. Smell you later.
You'll take my life, but I'll take his too. You'll take my life.